Okay, happy Wednesday. This is day 1 out of many. I'm trying to figure out the perfect spot to do this because I feel like I really like doing this in the car, but I don't feel like it's the right spot to do it. But like the shower and car is such a peaceful place because okay, nobody can interrupt you, and if so, you just lock the door and no one can get in. But yeah, let's jump right into it and not lose any time because I don't know how long chapter 1 is gonna take us. I might stop at some point and just add a cognition to it or whatever, so feel free to share any thoughts or cognitions you have while we go through this. I would love to hear your points of view, and yeah, I really hope that this is gonna help you as well, because I mean, it's nice for me to read, but at the same time, oh yeah, by the way, you guys chose The Magic of Thinking Big. It won on the poll. I'm probably gonna put it up here so you can actually see that I'm not lying, because I wanted to read Think and Grow Rich first because I have some notes in there and I already read it and I wanted to reread it, but this one I have to read as well because it's on one of the book lists that I got from kind of a private club I'm in, and I have to read it anyways, so now we're gonna read it together. I only read the first, I think, 2 chapters or so from this one. So yeah, let's start this. I'm probably gonna skip the preface. Oh no, let me read this one part because I kind of marked it up, and it's a really good point. The basic principles and concepts supporting the magic of thinking big come from the highest pedigree sources. The very finest and biggest thinking minds yet live on planet Earth. Minds like the prophet David, who wrote, "As one thinketh in his heart, so is he." Minds such as Emerson, who said, "Great men are those who see that thoughts rule the world." Minds like Milton, who in Paradise Lost wrote, "The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell or hell of heaven." Amazingly perspectives minds like Shakespeare, who observed, "There's nothing either good or bad, except that thinking makes it so." So this wasn't a preface, but now we're gonna start with chapter 1. Chapter 1 is believe you can succeed, and you will. Success means many wonderful, positive things. Success means personal prosperity, a fine home, vacations, travel, new things, financial security, giving your children maximum advantages. Success means winning admiration, leadership, being looked up to by people in your business and social life. Success means freedom. Freedom from worries, fears, frustrations, and failure. Success means self-respect. Continually finding more real happiness and satisfaction from life, being able to do more for those who depend on you. Success means winning. Success, achievement, is the goal of life. Every human being wants success. Gets back to what we talked about yesterday, right? Like, how do you define success? Everybody wants the best this life can deliver. Nobody enjoys crawling, living in mediocrity. No one likes feeling second class and feeling forced to go that way. Some of the most practical success-building wisdom is found in that biblical quotation stating that faith can move mountains. Believe, really believe you can move a mountain, and you can. Not many people believe that they can move mountains, so as a result, not many people do. On some occasion, you've probably heard some say something like, "It's nonsense to think you can make a mountain move away just by saying, 'Mountain, move away.' It's simply impossible." People who think this way have belief confused with wishful thinking. And true enough, you can't wish away a mountain. You can't wish yourself into an executive suite. nor can you wish yourself into a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house or the high income brackets. You can't wish yourself into a position of leadership, but you can move a mountain with belief. You can win success by believing you can succeed. There's nothing magical or mystical about the power of belief. Belief works this way. Believe the I'm positive I can attitude. It's quotations. I'm positive I can attitude generates the power, skill and energy needed to do. When you believe I can do it, the how to do it develops. Every day all over the nation young people start working in new jobs. Each of them wishes that someday he could enjoy the success that goes with reaching the top. But the majority of these young people simply don't have the belief that it takes to reach the top rungs. And they don't reach the top. Believing it's impossible to climb high, they do not discover the steps that lead to great heights. Their behavior remains that of the average person. Average. But a small number of these people, young people, really believe they will succeed. They approach their work with the I am going to the top attitude, and with substantial belief they reach the top. Believing they will succeed and that it's not impossible, these folks study and observe the behavior of senior executives. They learn how successful people approach problems and make decisions. They observe the attitudes of successful people. The how to do it always comes to the person who believes he can do it. A young woman I am acquainted with decided 2 years ago that she was going to establish a sales agency to sell mobile homes. She was advised by many that she shouldn't and couldn't do it. Dude, now it's starting to rain. Perfect. I hope you still understand me. Okay. She had less than 3,000 in savings and was advised that the minimum capital investment required was many times that. Look how competitive it is, she was advised. And besides, what practical experience have you had in selling mobile homes, let alone managing a business? Her advisor asked. But this young lady had belief in herself and her ability to succeed. She quickly admitted that she lacked capital, that the business was very competitive, and that she lacked experience. Okay, I hope it's not too loud. Wait, let me check. Okay, should be fine. Where were we? That she lacked experience. But she said, all the evidence I can gather shows that the mobile home industry is going to expand. On top of that, I've studied my competition. I know I can do a better job of merchandising trailers than anybody else in this town. I expect to make some mistakes, but I'm going to be on top in a hurry. And she was. She had little trouble getting capital. Her absolutely unquestioned belief that she could succeed with this business won her the confidence of 2 investors. And armed with complete belief, she did the impossible. She got a trailer manufacturer to advance her limited inventory with no money down. Last year she sold over 1 million worth of trailers. Next year, she says, I expect to cross over 2 million. Belief, strong belief, triggers the mind to figure ways and means and how to. And believing you can succeed makes others place confidence in you. So I want to mark this up. I also got my markers, by the way. So if you read, mark things up. That's the thing, like I didn't read it before, so I kind of have to do both parallelly. Most people do not put much stock in belief, but some, the residents of Successful USA, do. Just a few weeks ago, a friend who is an official with a state highway department in a Midwestern state related a mountain moving experience to me. Last month, my friend began. Our department sent notices to a number of engineering companies that we were authorized to retain some firm to design 8 bridges as part of our highway building program. The bridges were to be built at the cost of $5 million. The engineering firm selected would get a 4% commission or $200,000 for its design work. I talked with 21 engineering firms about this. The 4 largest decided right away to submit proposals. The other 17 companies were small, having only 3 to 7 engineers each. The size of the project scared off 16 of these 17. They went over the project, shook their heads, and said, in effect, "It's too big for us. I wish I thought we could handle it, but it's no use of even trying." But one of these small firms, a company with only 3 engineers, studied the plans and said, "We can do it. We submit a proposal." They did, and they got the job. Those who believe they can move mountains do. Those who believe they can't, cannot. Belief triggers the power to do. Actually, in these modern times, belief is doing much bigger things than moving mountains. The most essential element, in fact, the essential element in our space explorations today, is belief that space can be mastered. Without firm, unwavering belief that man can travel in space, our scientists would not have the courage, interest, and enthusiasm to proceed. Belief that cancer can be cured will ultimately produce cures for cancer. Currently, there is some talk of building a tunnel under the English Channel to connect England with the continent. Whether this tunnel is ever built depends on whether responsible people believe it can be built. Belief in great results is the driving force, the power behind all great books, plays, scientific discoveries. Belief in success is behind every successful business, church, political organization. Belief in success is the one basic, absolutely essential ingredient of successful people. Gonna mark this up as well. Guys, I hope you notice it's about belief. Because whether you believe you can or you can't, either way, you're right. Believe. Really believe you can succeed, and you will. Over the years, I've talked with many people who have failed in business, ventures, and in various careers. I've heard a lot of reasons and excuses for failure. Something especially significant unfolds as conversations with failures develop. In a casual sort of way, the failure drops a remark like, "To tell the truth, I didn't think it would work," or "I had my misgivings before I even started out," or "Actually, I wasn't too surprised that it didn't work out." The "Okay, I give it a try, but I don't think it will work" attitude produces failures. Disbelief is negative power. When the mind disbelieves or doubts, the mind attracts reasons to support that disbelief. You got it? Disbelief is negative power. When the mind disbelieves or doubts, the mind attracts reasons to support that disbelief. Doubt, disbelief, the subconscious will to fail, the not really wanting to succeed is responsible for most failures. Think doubt and fail. Think victory and succeed. A young fiction writer talked with me recently about her writing ambitions. The name of one of the top writers in her field came up. "Oh," she said, "Mr. X is a wonderful writer, but of course I can't be nearly as successful as he is." Her attitude disappointed me very much because I know the writer mentioned. He is not super intelligent, nor super perceptive, nor super anything or else except super confident. He believes he is among the best, and so he acts and performs the best. It is well to respect the leader, learn from him, observe him, study him, but don't worship him. Believe you can surpass. Believe you can go beyond. Those who harbor the second best attitude are invariably second best doers. Look at it this way. Belief is the thermostat that regulates what we accomplish in life. Study the fellow who is shuffling down there in mediocrity. He believes he is worth little, so he receives little. He believes he can do big things, and he doesn't. He believes he is unimportant, so everything he does has an unimportant mark. As time goes by, lack of belief in himself shows through in the way the fellow talks, walks, acts. Unless he readjusts his thermostat forward, he shrinks, grows smaller and smaller in his own estimation. And since others see in us what we see in ourselves, he grows smaller in the estimation of people around him. I'm gonna mark this up as well. Others see in us what we see in ourselves. Now, look across the way at the person who is advancing forward. He believes he is worth much and receives much. He believes he can handle big, difficult assignments, and he does. Everything he does, the way he handles himself with people, his character, his thoughts, his viewpoints, all say he is a professional. He is an important person. A person is a product of his own thoughts. A person is a product of his own thoughts. Believe big. Adjust your thermostat forward. Launch your success offensive with honest, sincere belief that you can succeed. Believe big and grow big. Several years ago, after addressing a group of businessmen in Detroit, I talked with one of the gentlemen who approached me, introduced himself and said, "I really enjoyed your talk. Can you spare a few minutes? I'd like very much to discuss a personal experience with you." In a few minutes, we were comfortably seated in a coffee shop, waiting for some refreshments. "I have a personal experience," he began, "that ties in perfectly with what you said this evening about making your mind work for you instead of letting it work against you. I've never explained to anyone how I lifted myself out of the world of mediocrity, but I'd like to tell you about it. And I'd like to hear it," I said. "Well, just 5 years ago, I was plodding along, just another guy working in the tool and die trade. I made a decent living by average standards, but it was far from ideal. Our home was much too small, and there was no money for those many things we wanted. My wife, bless her, didn't complain much, but it was written all over her that she was more resigned to her fate than she was happy. Inside, I grew more and more dissatisfied. When I let myself see how I was failing my good wife and 2 children, I really hurt inside. But today things are different." My friend continued, "Today we have a beautiful new home on a 2-acre lot and a year-round cabin, a couple 100 miles north of here. There's no more worry about whether we can send the kids to a good college, and my wife no longer has to feel guilty every time she spends money for some new clothes." Oh, dude. "Next summer, the whole family is flying to Europe to spend a month holiday." Okay, I think it's gonna rain too much now. Let's pause this here. Okay, we're back home now, as you can see, and got creative with how to position the phone right now. But the thing is, I really don't want to stop in the middle of nowhere. So let's finish chapter 1. "How did this all happen?" I asked. "It all happened," he continued, "when, to use the phrase you used tonight, I harnessed the power of belief. 5 years ago, I learned about a job with a tool and die company here in Detroit. We were living in Cleveland at that time. I decided to look into it and hoping I could make it a little bit more money. I got here early on Sunday evening, but the interview was not until Monday. After dinner, I sat down in my hotel room, and for some reason, I got really disgusted with myself. Why? I asked. I'm just a middle-class failure? Why am I trying to get a job that represents such a small step forward? I don't know to this day what prompted me to do it. But I took a sheet of hotel stationery and wrote down names of 5 people I've known well for several years who had far surpassed me in earning power and job responsibility. 2 were former neighbors who had moved away to fine subdivisions. 2 others were fellows I had worked for, and the third was a brother-in-law. Next, again, I don't know what made me do this. I asked myself, what do my 5 friends have that I don't have, besides better jobs? I compared myself with them on intelligence, but I honestly couldn't see that they excelled in the brains department. Nor could I truthfully say they had me beat on education, integrity, or personal habits. Finally, I got down to another success quality one hears a lot about: initiative. Here I hated to admit, but I had to. On this point, my record showed I was far below that of my successful friends. It was now about 3 a.m., but my mind was astonishingly clear. Who knows that kind of state. I was seeing my weak point for the first time. I discovered that I had held back. I had always carried a little stick. I dug into myself deeper and deeper and found the reason I lacked initiative was because I didn't believe inside that I was worth very much. I sat there the rest of the night, just reviewing how lack of faith in myself had dominated me ever since I could remember, how I had used my mind to work against myself. I found I had been preaching to myself why I couldn't get ahead instead of why I could. I had been selling myself short. I found this streak of self-depreciation showed through in everything I did. Then it dawned on me that no one else was going to believe in me until I believed in myself. Right then I decided I'm through feeling second class. From here on, I'm not going to sell myself short anymore. Next morning, I still had that confidence. During the job interview, I gave my newfound confidence its first test. Before coming for the interview, I'd hoped I would have courage to ask for $750 or maybe $1,000 more than my present job was paying. But now, after realizing I was a valuable man, I upped it to $3,500. And I got it. I sold myself because after that one long night of self-analysis, I found things in myself that made me a lot more saleable. Within 2 years, after I took that job, I had established a reputation as the fellow who can get business. Then we went into a recession. This made me still more valuable because I was one of the best business getters in the industry. The company was reorganized and I was given a substantial amount of stock plus, a lot more pay. I marked this one up. Believe in yourself and good things do start happening. Your mind is a thought factory. It's a busy factory producing countless thoughts in one day. Production in your thought factory is under the charge of 2 foremen, one of whom we will call Mr. Triumph and the other Mr. Defeat. Mr. Triumph is in charge of manufacturing positive thoughts. He specializes in producing reasons why you can, why you're qualified, and why you will. The other foreman, Mr. Defeat, produces negative deprecating thoughts. He is your expert in developing reasons why you can't, why you're weak, why you're inadequate. His specialty is the why you fail chain of thoughts. Both Mr. Triumph and Mr. Defeat are intensely obedient. They snap to attention immediately. All you need to do is signal either foreman is to give the slightest mental back and call. If the signal is positive, Mr. Triumph will step forward and go to work. Likewise, a negative signal brings Mr. Defeat forward. To see how these foremen work for you, try this example. Tell yourself, today is a lousy day. This signals Mr. Defeat into action and he manufactures some facts to prove you're right. He suggests to you that it's too hot or it's too cold. Business will be bad today, sales will drop, other people will be on edge, you may get sick, your wife will be in fuzzy mode, and Mr. Defeat is tremendously efficient. In just a few moments, he's got you sold. It is a bad day. Before you know it, it's a heck of a bad day. But tell yourself, today is a fine day. And Mr. Triumph is signaled forward to act. He tells you, this is a wonderful day. The weather is refreshing, it's good to be alive. Today you can catch up on some of your work. And then it is a good day. In like fashion, Mr. Defeat can show you why you can't sell Mr. Smith. Mr. Triumph will show you that you can. Mr. Defeat will convince you that you will fail, while Mr. Triumph will demonstrate why you will succeed. Mr. Defeat will prepare a brilliant case against Tom, while Mr. Triumph will show you reasons why you like Tom. Now, the more work you give either of these two foremen, the stronger he becomes. If Mr. Defeat is given more work to do, he adds personnel and takes up more space in your mind. Eventually, he will take over the entire thought manufacturing division, and virtually all thought will be of a negative nature. The only wise thing to do is fire Mr. Defeat. You don't need him. You don't want him around telling you that you can't. You're not up to it. You fail and so on. Mr. Defeat won't help you get where you want to go. So boot him out. Use Mr. Triumph 100% of the time. When any thought enters your mind, ask Mr. Triumph to go to work for you. He'll show you how you can succeed. Between now and tomorrow, at this time, another 11,500 new customers will have made their grand entry into the USA. Population is growing at a record rate. In the next 10 years, the increase is conservatively estimated at 35 million. That's equal to the present combined metropolitan population of our 5 biggest cities: New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Detroit, and Philadelphia. Imagine. New industries, new scientific breakthroughs, expanding markets all spell opportunity. This is good news. This is the most wonderful time to be alive. All signs point to record demand for top-level people in every field. People who have superior ability to influence others, to direct their work, to serve them in leadership capacity. And I must stop here because I have to jump on a meeting. But we're gonna finish this because it's 1, 2, 3, 5 more pages. So I'll see you later. Okay, welcome back again, I guess. I was in a meeting for the last 3 hours, so it's 9:30 now. But we said we're gonna finish this, so therefore we keep going without interruptions now. Let's see. We finished. Okay. And the people who will fill these leadership positions are all adults, or near adults right now. One of them is you. The guarantee of a boom is not, of course, a guarantee of personal success. Over the long pull, the United States has always been booming. But just a fast glance shows that millions and millions of people, in fact, a majority of them, struggle but don't really succeed. The majority of folks still plug along mediocrity, despite the record opportunity of the last 2 decades. And in the boom period ahead, most people will continue to worry, to be afraid, to crawl through life, feeling unimportant, unappreciated, not able to do what they want to do. As a result, their performance will earn them petty rewards, petty happiness. Those who convert opportunity into reward, and let me say, I sincerely believe you are one of those, else you'd rely on luck and not bother with this book. So congrats if you're still here. It's amazing. Will be those wise people. Read this again. And let me say, I sincerely believe you are one of those. Else you'd rely on luck and not bother with this book. Will be those wise people who learn how to think themselves to success. Walk in. The door to success is open, wider than ever before. Put yourself on record now that you are going to join that select group that is getting what it wants from life. Common success if you're still here, because props to you if you're still listening. You are a winner. Here's the first step towards success. It's a basic step. It can't be avoided. Step 1, believe in yourself, believe you can succeed. How to develop the power of belief. Here are the 3 guides to acquiring and strengthening the power of belief. First, think success. Don't think failure. At work, in your home, substitute success thinking for failure thinking. When you face a difficult situation, think, I will win, not I'll probably lose. When you compete with someone else, think, I'm equal to the best, not I'm outclassed. When opportunity appears, think, I can do it, never I can't. Let the master thought, I will succeed, dominate your thinking process. Thinking success conditions your mind to create plans that produce success. Thinking success conditions your mind to create plans that produce success. Thinking failure does the exact opposite. Failure of thinking conditions the mind to think other thoughts that produce failure. And a note I took, where focus goes, energy flows. You might have heard that before. Okay, second, remind yourself regularly that you are better than you think you are. Successful people are not Superman. Success does not require a super intellect, nor is there anything mystical about success. And success isn't based on luck. Successful people are just ordinary folks who have developed belief in themselves and what they do. Never, yes, never sell yourself short. And third, believe, it says here, big. The size of your success is determined by the size of your belief. Think little goals and expect little achievements. Think big goals and win big success. Remember this too. Big ideas and big plans are often easier, certainly no more difficult than small ideas and small plans. Mr. Ralph J. Cordiner, chairman of the board of the General Electric Company, said this to a leadership conference. We need from every man who aspires to leadership for himself and his company a determination to undertake a personal program of self-development. Nobody is going to order a man to develop. Whether a man lags behind or moves ahead in his specialty is a matter of his own personal application. This is something which takes time, work and sacrifice. Nobody can do it for you. Mr. Cordiner's advice is sound and practical. Live it. Persons who reach the top rungs in business management, selling, engineering, religious work, writing, acting, and in every other pursuit get there by following conscientiously and continuously a plan for self-development and growth. Any training program, and that's exactly what this book is, must do 3 things. It must provide content that the what to is must do, the what to do. Second, it must supply a method, the how to do it. And third, it must meet the ACID test, that is, get results. The what of your personal training program for success is built on the attitudes and techniques of successful people. How do they manage themselves? How do they overcome obstacles? How do they earn the respect of others? What sets them apart from the ordinary? How do they think? The how of your plan for development and growth is a series of concrete guides for action. These are found in each chapter. These guides work. Apply them and see for yourself. What about the most important part of training? Results? Wrapped up briefly, conscientious application of the program presented here will bring you success. And on a scale that may now look impossible, Broken down into its components, your personal training program for success will bring you a series of rewards. The reward of deeper respect from your family, the reward of admiration from your friends and associates, the reward of feeling useful, of being someone, of having status, the reward of increased income and a higher standard of living. Your training is self-administered. There will be no one standing over your shoulder telling you what to do and how to do it. This book will be your guide, but only you can understand yourself. Only you can command yourself to apply this training. You, maybe you've heard of your wish is your command. Only you can command yourself to apply this training. Only you can evaluate your progress. Only you can bring about corrective action should you slip a little. In short, you are going to train yourself to achieve bigger and bigger success. You already have a fully equipped laboratory in which you can work and study. Your laboratory is all around you. Your laboratory, is that correct? Consists of human beings. This laboratory supplies you, please don't laugh, laboratory? No, laboratory. Anyway, supplies you with every possible example of human action. And there's no limit to what you can learn once you see yourself as a scientist in your own lab. What's more, there's nothing to buy. There is no rent to pay. There are no fees of any kind. You can use this laboratory as much as you like for free. As director of your own laboratory, you will want to do what every scientist does. Observe and experiment. There's a connection I made, so you are the director of your life. You basically are the commander of your life. So your wish is your command. You direct your life where you want it to go. Personal opinion. Okay, let's keep reading. Isn't it surprising to you that most people understand so little about why people act as they do, even though they are surrounded by people all their lives? Most people are not trained observers. One important purpose of this book is to help you train yourself to observe, to develop deep insight into human action. You want to ask yourself questions like, why is John so successful and Tom just getting by? Why do some people have many friends and other people have only few friends? Why would people gladly accept what one person tells them but ignore another person who tells them the same thing? Once trained, you will learn valuable lessons just through the very simple process of observing. Here are 2 special suggestions to help you make yourself a trained observer. Select for special study the most successful and the most unsuccessful person you know. Then, as the book unfolds, observe how closely your successful friend adheres to the success principles. Notice also how studying the 2 extremes will help you see the unmistakable wisdom of following the truths outlined in this book. Each contact you make with another person gives you a chance to see success development principles at work. Your objective is to make successful action habitual. Make it a habit. The more we practice, the sooner it becomes second nature to act in the desired way. Most of us have friends who grow things for a hobby, and we've all heard them say something like, it's exciting to watch those plants grow. Just look how they respond to plant food and water. See how much bigger they are today than they were last week? To be sure, it is thrilling to watch what can happen when men cooperate carefully with nature, but it is not 1/10 as fascinating as watching yourself respond to your own carefully administered thought management program. Your own carefully administered thought management program. It's fun to feel yourself growing more confident, more effective, more successful day by day, month by month. Nothing, absolutely nothing in this life gives you more satisfaction than knowing you are on the road to success and achievement. And nothing stands as a bigger challenge than making the most of yourself. We did it, guys! That's chapter 1. I took one note about observing the two people. The wise man learns from the fool, but the fool never learns from the wise man. Yep, this was chapter number 1. Again, chapter number 1 was believe you can succeed, and you will. So yeah, we did it. Thank you for staying here. If you really watched the whole thing, it's kind of like a podcast thing, I guess. But I really want to do one chapter for each video and not stop in between the chapter, because I think it's better to upload. But yeah, it's late now. I see you tomorrow, and have a blessed day, evening, morning, whenever you listen to this. Peace out.